Numbers 14. Are we invading or are we not invading? At last check, the Israelite spies scoped out the land of Canaan and found it perfect, but also heavily fortified. They can't take it over even if they wanted to. But one of the spies, Caleb, said they should invade, which led the other spies to lie to everybody about how hard it would be to take over. So who's gonna win? Cocky Caleb? The lying, cowardly spies? No. And also no. That night, all the members of the community raised their voices and wept aloud. All the Israelites grumbled against Moses and Aaron, and the whole assembly said to them, "If only we had died in Egypt, or in this wilderness. Why is the Lord bringing us to this land only to let us fall by the sword? Our wives and children will be taken as plunder. Wouldn't it be better for us to go back to Egypt?" And they said to each other, "We should choose a leader and go back to Egypt." I can't blame them for being mad. They've been traveling forever, and now they're being told there is no longer a destination. This is after they escaped slavery, only to repeatedly say how good they had it under slavery. They are right to question God. But keep in mind that in Egypt, there was a rule to kill off the eldest male children so the women and children could be exploited. So why are they in such a rush to go back there? It makes no sense. Have they forgotten what they were escaping? They might have. The Stockholm Syndrome is strong with these people. I love that they're saying they should choose a leader and go back, because we've gone through so many leaders in this tribe. We've learned every single one of their names. And now the people are like, screw everyone, we're gonna pick a new guy and go backwards, which is also the slogan for the Republican Party. Then Moses and Aaron fell face down in front of the whole Israelite assembly gathered there. Joshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, who were among those who had explored the land, tore their clothes and said to the entire Israelite assembly, "The land we passed through and explored is exceedingly good. If the Lord is pleased with us, he will lead us into that land, a land flowing with milk and honey, and will give it to us. Only do not rebel against the Lord, and do not be afraid of the people of the land, because we will devour them. Their protection is gone, but the Lord is with us. Do not be afraid of them." Thank you, Braveheart. Famous last words. God's on our side, we can't lose. It's what conservative preachers said before the pandemic started. But look, Caleb has a buddy now who's on the side of invasion. And just to prove how serious they are, they're, I guess, stripping? I don't really understand why tearing your clothes would help, but okay, you do you. But the whole assembly talked about stoning them. Then the glory of the Lord appeared at the tent of meeting to all the Israelites. The Lord said to Moses, "How long will these people treat me with contempt? How long will they refuse to believe in me in spite of all the signs I have performed among them? I will strike them down with a plague and destroy them. But I will make you into a nation greater and stronger than they." The whole assembly wants to stone Caleb and Joshua for saying this place is great when their own leaders have been telling them a lie about how awful it is. This is how propaganda works. You learn to get mad at the people telling you the truth. But God says he's going to send a plague to destroy those people, which means two things. One, no one cares about the thou shalt not kill rule. I mean, not the Israelites and not God. And two, petty infighting is the best. It's also amusing that God says he'll strike down the disobedient Israelites, then just start over with Moses and Caleb and Joshua. There are millions of Israelites, and God's thinking, most of you deserve death. I'm just gonna wipe you off the planet and try again, mostly from scratch, just like he did with the Great Flood. Moses said to the Lord, "Then the Egyptians will hear about it. By your power you brought these people up from among them, and they will tell the inhabitants of this land about it. They have already heard that you, Lord, are with these people, and that you, Lord, have been seen face to face. that your cloud stays over them, and that you go before them in a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. If you put all these people to death, leaving none alive, the nations who have heard this report about you will say, 'The Lord was not able to bring these people into the land he promised them on oath, so he slaughtered them in the wilderness.' Now may the Lord's strength be displayed just as you have declared. The Lord is slow to anger, abounding in love and forgiving sin and rebellion. Yet he does not leave the guilty unpunished. He punishes the children for the sin of the parents to the third and fourth generation. In accordance with your great love, forgive the sin of these people, just as you have pardoned them from the time they left Egypt until now." How is that for some reverse psychology? God, if you kill your own people, your enemies will think you're a savage. But we know you're awesome and reasonable and kind. So put down that knife you're about to stab everyone with and show everyone you're a God of peace. It is all very ironic coming from Moses, who has previously threatened to kill people himself. It is amazing that this might work. Why would the God of the universe care about his reputation on earth? It's like Sarah Palin running for vice president and caring about what the local newspaper in Wasilla, Alaska is saying about her. It shouldn't matter, but some people are blinded by their own egos. The Lord replied, "I have forgiven them, as you asked. Nevertheless, as surely as I live, and as surely as the glory of the Lord fills the whole earth, not one of those who saw my glory and the signs I performed in Egypt and in the wilderness, but who disobeyed me and tested me 10 times, not one of them will ever see the land I promised on oath to their ancestors. No one who has treated me with contempt will ever see it. But because my servant Caleb has a different spirit and follows me wholeheartedly, I will bring him into the land he went to, and his descendants will inherit it. Since the Amalekites and the Canaanites are living in the valleys, turn back tomorrow and set out toward the deserts along the route to the Red Sea." God, let it go. Jesus, this guy holds a grudge. You know why they believed you, God, with the plagues? They saw them. You know why they doubt you now? Because you're not showing up anymore. That's not weird. But congrats, Caleb and his descendants, I guess, for winning the God lottery. God is now telling them to take an alternative route to get to the new land. Instead of attacking the Canaanites head on, go around the side, and he promises to protect them. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "How long will this wicked community grumble against me? I have heard the complaints of these grumbling Israelites. So tell them, as surely as I live, declares the Lord, I will do to you the very thing I heard you say. In this wilderness, your bodies will fall. Every one of you 20 years old or more who was counted in the census and who has grumbled against me. Not one of you will enter the land I swore with uplifted hand to make your home, except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun. As for your children, that you said would be taken as plunder, I will bring them in to enjoy the land you have rejected. But as for you, your bodies will fall in this wilderness. Your children will be shepherds here for 40 years, suffering for your unfaithfulness until the last of your bodies lies in the wilderness. For 40 years, 1 year for each of the 40 days you explored the land, you will suffer for your sins and know what it is like to have me against you. I, the Lord, have spoken, and I will surely do these things to this whole wicked community which has banded together against me. They will meet their end in this wilderness. Here they will die." Just so we are clear, God just threatened another genocide against people who doubted him for pretty good reasons. And he's not just going to kill every adult, he's going to punish their children too, for 40 years. Those kids have to suffer for decades because God felt inferior for like a minute. And if God is killing off nearly everyone over the age of 20 who was counted in the census, it pretty much undoes all that counting we did at the beginning of the book of Numbers. Why did we do that? We knew it was a waste of time then, and that suspicion has finally been confirmed. So the men Moses had sent to explore the land, who returned and made the whole community grumble against him by spreading a bad report about it, these men who were responsible for spreading the bad report about the land were struck down and died of a plague before the Lord. Of the men who went to explore the land, only Joshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, survived. 10 down, 2 survived. The Bible is nothing but a prequel to Squid Game. The amazing thing is that God just killed the people who were telling the truth. These 10 guys said they should not invade because the people seemed stronger. Caleb and Joshua were the fools saying, "Nah, we're gonna rush in anyway because God's on our side." But God rewarded the guys who stroked his ego instead of the ones willing to be honest. Which really does explain how every church operates. When Moses reported this to all the Israelites, they mourned bitterly. Early the next morning, they set out for the highest point in the hill country, saying, "Now we are ready to go up to the land the Lord promised. Surely we have sinned." I mean, a pile of 10 dead bodies will convince you to do or say anything. Run into the land of giants? Sure, why not? Except we already know these people are not gonna make it. God already said he's killing off everyone 20 and older who doubted him. Which means even though these people are now repenting, God's gonna murder them anyway. So much for deathbed conversions. But Moses said, "Why are you disobeying the Lord's command? This will not succeed. Do not go up, because the Lord is not with you. You will be defeated by your enemies, for the Amalekites and the Canaanites will face you there. Because you have turned away from the Lord, he will not be with you, and you will fall by the sword." Aw, Moses is telling them they're all screwed. But no amount of sucking up to God will save them now. They might as well just start worshiping Satan at this point. Hedge their bets with a new supernatural leader, because this one ain't working with them. Nevertheless, in their presumption, they went up toward the highest point in the hill country, though neither Moses nor the Ark of the Lord's covenant moved from the camp. Then the Amalekites and the Canaanites who lived in that hill country came down and attacked them, and beat them down all the way to Hormah. God got his vengeance, and lots of people died. They should have known what would happen when Moses said, "You go ahead, I'm gonna stay here, and I'm keeping the ark with me." That was really a dead giveaway. I cannot believe God allowed all these people to die after hundreds of years of enslavement, and all that time wandering in the desert, all because they dared to question all the horrible things that were going on. I wonder if, in their dying moments, those Israelites realized their enemies were not, in fact, giants, and that they had been lied to by nearly everyone in their life circle. If only they had time to process and begin the work of deconstruction. The good news is that Caleb and Joshua's people are about to get some sweet land after a war they have not yet fought. But God is on their side, or at least he will be after he's done watching his other people get slaughtered for doubting his power. Who are we rooting for at this point? God, the genocidal egomaniac? Caleb and Joshua, the scouts who lied? Even Moses is just placating God, telling God what he wants to hear instead of what he needs to hear. So I don't like Moses either. There are no good guys in this chapter.